In this presentation, I will be talking about my business idea that I've been working on for the last couple of months. My business idea is based on me as an artist in which I will be promoting myself. I will have an array of different customers who will need me for different types of work. So you as a customer would be able to either hire me to do session work for both lead and backing vocalist jobs, or you could either hire me as a solo artist or a front woman of a function band. I decided to start this business as over the last 5 years I've gained a lot of experience in the music industry and in performing especially. I wanted to do something considered a hobby to me and turn it into a business where I would make a sustainable career for myself and get paid a good wage. So, like I said in the previous slide, my product will be me, where through my website I will be offering myself as a session musician, a solo artist and a function band lead or backing singer for when their band's singer can't make it. When I am performing as a solo artist, I have decided that when my customer becomes a loyal customer, they will receive rewards and benefits. The benefits that they will receive will be on their first booking, they get 20% off. And on their 6th time they book me, within a year, they will get £50 off. You will be able to find me on my website, where you will be able to find a contact page with my contact details on to be able to book me. I'm hoping that soon there will be a calendar up and running for you to book me quickly in busy periods like the summertime and Christmas time. For the last couple of months, I have been planning and gaining contacts for my future bookings and putting my name out there and using social media to create my website. The next stage is to get out there and start taking bookings and perform and get even more experience. My customers will be mainly pub landlords who need solo artists to have over the weekend to entertain their customers. My customers will also be function bands who need someone to fill in for their lead, backing vocalist when they can't make it. And also people like record producers who are looking for people to sing on their projects. I believe that the market I am appealing to is huge. For the solo artist side of things, people love going out on weekends and listening to bands, and there are around 85% of pubs that have bands on weekends, and that's what keeps them going and allows them to bring in a steady income to their business. Function bands as well are a good business to go into, as a lot of events like birthday parties and weddings and so on also have bands now and pay very good money for them. This will also be a good opportunity for me because I have a lot of experience of performing and believe that I can make a good sustainable business out of myself. Going into this business, I have a lot of competition, and I do believe that whatever area you are in the music industry, you will always have a strong amount of competition against you. My biggest competitors will be solo artists around where I will be performing. There are already a lot of solo artists in Neath and Swansea, where I will be doing most of my solo performances. I need to make sure that I stand out from the crowd and make sure I get those loyal customers who also have a fan base and keep an eye on where I will be playing each weekend. In order to do this, I will need to make sure that I have a solid set list with lots of fun songs to keep the crowd engaged and the landlords who have hired me wanted to keep having me back. I also need to keep active on social media to let people know where I will be playing each weekend. I rarely see bands and solo artists giving money off for their services, so that may give me an advantage on everyone else. I think it would be a good idea, especially when you have loyal customers. It's your way of saying thank you for giving you a job. If other places see you do this, it will urge them to book you for future performances. On the session musician side of things, people like Emily Lynn, who is a very respected session musician based in London. Emily specialises in vocal arrangement. She now tours with the Pink Floyd tribute band in Australia 3 to 4 months out of the year. Emily Lynn is a great example of a vocal session musician, as she has a good balance between being a performer and being a session musician. To ensure you get as much work as your competition, it is as simple as showing that you are a punctual and organised person who turns up when they should and is an easy person to get along with. This will help, as it will give you a bigger chance of being asked back, and you will be at the top of everyone's list to perform at short notice. The most important part of this whole business is to make sure that I will be able to make a sustainable wage for myself. So I predict that I would be making the most money from being a solo artist, as they are high in demand at the moment. If things go well and I have at least 2 booked up weekends each month, that will make me somewhere between £400 to £700. On top of that, if I got asked to do at least 2 function band gigs, that would earn me around £150 more. Then to add on top of that, I will be doing session work. Session work will probably be the slowest for me to get, but at the same time it's the best kind of work to get paid for. Even if I only did 1 to 2 session jobs, I would still manage to get around at least £200. The thing to think about here is no matter how popular you are, there are going to be times in the year where work is a little slow, like January and February, for example. Here I may only be performing once a weekend, so that is why I have decided to offer myself as a session musician to keep me stable and still bring in the work, even when the weekends are a little slower. However, my prediction is that the summer time will be the time where I will be the most busiest performing, as there are bank holidays and lots of weddings happen in the summer, and simply the weekend just draws people out when the weather is nice. Christmas time will also be busy, as there are more work dues and Christmas parties that will happen, and pubs typically look to book a band or a solo artist if they know their pub is going to be busy. I will definitely be paid in a couple of different ways, as places like pubs get their money by either ticket money, sales on the door, or the money they make behind the bar. At the end of the night, pub bands and soloists are usually paid in cash in hand. However, some pubs are a part of an agency, so the money will be in your account within 1 to 2 weeks after you have completed that gig. It is usually the same for function bands. Most of the time, whoever has hired you for that event will pay you on the night. Sometimes, if it's events like weddings, then because it's such a large sum of money, there will be high that you will be getting. The people hiring you will normally send a bank transfer. For session musician work, it will mostly be bank transfers or secondary party, and will be in the account normally again 1 to 2 weeks after the job is complete. When setting up this business, I did not take on any team members, as I felt it would have saved me a lot of money and I could handle the workload. I managed to set up the social media pages and website with a logo to go with it on my own. At the minute, because I only have a slow flow of customers, I can handle the bookings. However, when my business starts to grow, I may need to take on a manager or an accountant to help me with the bookings, answering emails and dealing with my diary. I could also use help with my finances by keeping track. But as of right now, I will be taking bookings and answering my own emails. I will also be keeping an eye on the financial side of it and track my money from gigs and session work, and make sure I get paid on time and get paid the right amount. My incomings will be from performing in pubs as a solo artist, and also performing in a function band at events such as weddings and birthday parties. Then a small amount of my incomings will be from session work. My outgoings will be split into two categories. These categories will be personal and work related. My personal outgoings will include things like paying rent if I ever rent out a house, bills for gas and electricity, food and toiletries, and so on. The work-related side of it will include things like petrol that I will use for my car to go back and forth to gigs, outfits for my performances, and then if I need any type of equipment like a new mic or a new speaker. I will also be joining the Musicians Union, which will make sure I get paid right as a session musician and will have protection of up to £10 million of public liability insurance. Right now, Musicians Union is only £1 to join for 6 months, and then a full membership for a year will be £227. I have decided to show you how I keep track of all this money by doing a cash flow and a personal survival budget, which will be on the next 2 slides. At the moment, for this business, I don't have to pay out any members of staff, so that's where I will be saving the most. However, as I go on and maybe get more gigs and work, I may want to buy higher quality equipment for my work, so some months I may spend a little more than the others. Some of the slower months, like January and February, when I'm just starting out my business, I may have to boost pages on Facebook. This fee is as little as £5 to get my posts out to a wider audience. As you can see here, this is my cash flow diagram. And then this is my personal survival budget. Now that my website is up and running, I am now ready to take bookings. I am hoping that my business will start to pick up around the summertime, as this is a key time when pubs are looking to fill up their weekends and bank holidays, and sometimes have 2 bands a night by starting the music earlier than normal to get customers in. I already have a PA system ready to go, and they already have mics with it, but I am planning to buy a higher quality mic which would last me for a long time. I also have my own car, so I can easily get myself to and from gigs and also session musician jobs. I am also planning on making some business cards so I can hand them out at gigs, and I can also give some to the landlord of the pub to keep, so it's easy to get in contact with me. I could also hire someone to make me a roll-up banner to put up when I perform with my number and name on it. This would be easy for people to take down in their phones to then get in touch with me. I would also be able to get one of these cheap, as one of my family member owns a business in graphic designs. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.